Fifth Sunday of Lent. That was a windy day. Yet the people of the village gathered around an oak tree to make judgment over a newly married young woman, who was accused of infidelity by her spouse. She was the youngest daughter of a poor farmer. The priests, scribes, and other officials of the village were present there. The chief scribe questioned the young bride about her illicit relationships, but she denied all such charges. In order to testify whether she was innocent or guilty, the priest then asked her to take a drink that was made out of bitter herbs. Even though she drank it, she could not get on with it. She vomited the drink and collapsed to the ground. Seeing that, the priest declared her as guilty and ordered the people to stone her to death. Hearing the order of the priest, the people did not hesitate even for a moment. Within seconds the young bride's body was covered with stones. That night there was heavy rain in the village, and people thought that was the sign of God's blessing, for stoning an adulterous woman to death. This is the report of an ancient Jewish chronicler about the death penalty given to a young bride who was accused of adultery. In today's gospel, some people bring before Jesus a woman, who was said to have been caught in the act of adultery, and asked Jesus to make judgment over her crime. They also reminded him that Moses had ordered to stone such women to death. Here arises a question: why did the people bring such a woman before Jesus and ask him to make judgment over her crime? In a strict Jewish sense, Jesus was not a priest. He was not a scribe either, who learned the divine laws and was appointed to make verdicts over crimes. He was often treated by the elite class of the society as an uneducated son of a poor carpenter. The Pharisees and the scribes often accused Jesus of heresy and blasphemy as he revealed himself the Son of God. They also accused him of violating the law of Sabbath and making the people do so. From all those things we can easily understand that the people from the elite class of that time, like the Pharisees, the scribes, priests, and the regal class, have never thought of Jesus as one capable of making any judgment over legal matters concerning religion and faith. So behind the action of the people in bringing such a woman before Jesus, there might have been some hidden agenda to trap Jesus in any way and do away with him. In the book of Leviticus there is a law that says adulterous women should be stoned to death. The Jews believed that it was God Yahweh who gave the law to Moses along with other divine laws. So to the people that was a law to be practiced without any excuse. According to the law, thousands of women were brutally murdered among the Jews accused of adultery until the Romans came into power. When the Romans came into power, they forbade the Jewish authorities from making judgment over one's life. In other words, during the time of Jesus, the Jewish authority had no power in pronouncing capital punishment to women that were caught in adultery. If anyone violates that law, they also will be punished with the same brutality. Here it becomes much clearer why the Pharisees and the scribes, the master brains of the society of that time, made the people to bring such a woman before Jesus, and ask him to make judgment over her crime. If Jesus was telling the people to let the woman go, they could have easily accused him of making judgment against a divine law that was given to Moses centuries ago. On the other hand, if Jesus had said to the people it was lawful to stone such a woman to death, he would have been taken as a criminal before the Roman court for violating the law that forbade the Jews from making judgment over one's life. So, in any way, that was a perfect trap being set against Jesus by his antagonists, thinking that he would never get out of it. Jesus handled the problem in an amazing manner that no other man could have ever done without divine intuition. He did not ask the people to let the woman go. At the same time, he did not make them act according to the law of Moses either. He set before them a moral question and asked them to stone her first who thinks that he had not committed any sins in his life. None of them could do that. They left the place at once, leaving before Jesus the woman and the stones that they have brought to stone her. For they were not people free from any sins, and they were not even free from the sin that they had accused on the woman. So when the one, who could look into the hearts of man, put before them such a moral question, nothing they could do but retire. When the people left the place without even a murmur, Jesus looked into the face of the woman and said in a gentle voice, "No one punished you. I also don't punish, go and sin no more." That was not an order given by a lawgiver but an advice given by a loving father to a daughter, and that did work. The woman who left Jesus with a remorseful heart may be the one who later became known as Mary Magdalene, one of the great saints in the history of the Church. Let us pray to Jesus to help us to be compassionate like him and never rude and arrogant.